Hello, and welcome to My Take. I'm your host, Holly B. And I am in the studio this evening with my good friend, Red Hawk.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Hey, Red Hawk. Okay, so we had a meeting yesterday that I had attended over at the big casino. Hot topic, hot button, data center feasibility study. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Red Hawk, you weren't able to make the meeting, so this is going to be kind of a learning thing for you. If you have any questions, chime in and let me know. This is kind of a test of the understandability of yesterday's meeting, because I didn't get it at first. It took me a while to kind of come home and digest it and kind of wrap my head around what exactly happened last night. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. So my take, main subject, informational meeting that happened yesterday, data center feasibility study. Okay, first off, I do not represent the tribes. I am exercising my individual sovereignty as a tribal member. I am a business owner, a disabled combat veteran. I am representing myself. This is my personal opinion versus defamation. Not in the business of doing that. Freedom of speech. I'm exercising my right for freedom of speech, and I am not responsible for my guests' views and comments. We good with that?
Yep.
Awesome. So let's go ahead. So here's the flyer, Northern Arapaho Business Council information meeting to discuss the data center feasibility. I went to the one last night, Tuesday, at the big casino. The other one, the second one, is actually going on right now as we speak over at Blue Sky Hall. I know that the meeting that I attended, it got pretty spicy.
Really?
Yeah, it got kind of spicy. Everybody was really good at the beginning, gave the presenters their space, their time to do their thing. But when it came to question answer time, Q&A time, they kind of ripped into people, which is good, which is good. And I think some of those people rightfully deserved it. My take. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue here. Someone was missing. Oh, crap.
Who was missing?
Kim Harjo was missing. All of the council members were there, present. At the beginning of the meeting, they were all kind of chummy, this is going to be a good little meeting. That changed later on during the meeting. But yeah, it was painfully obvious that we were missing someone. A renewable energy advocate extraordinaire, Kim Harjo, was missing from the council members. So not sure what was going on there. Everybody noticed. Okay, also missing was Cy Lee. If you folks are familiar with the data center feasibility study situation, he is the co-applicant of the Business Ready Community Grant. People were wondering where he was at. So if they had questions or needed some insight, they could have gotten it from him. But he was also a no-show. Lloyd Goggles, who signed the MOU for this data center feasibility study, was also missing. Wouldn't you think that the tribal chief operation officer should be kind of present for something this important?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that too much to ask?
No.
Okay, well, Mr. Martin Ormejo was also missing from yesterday's meeting, and everybody just kind of noticed that kind of departure. All right, so the meeting started off with a little bit of a history lesson. Keenan Grossmack got up and stated that in 2022, the Arapaho tribe applied individually for the Wyoming Business Ready Community Grant for this feasibility study. This is this data center feasibility study because they could. Due to a recent legislative change that viewed the Northern Arapaho tribe and the Shoshone tribe as separate entities. So as soon as that happened, they decided to go ahead and go for a business ready community grant from the Wyoming Business Council. Before that, the tribes had to apply for these sorts of things jointly together, which to me makes a lot of sense, especially when it comes to natural resources. And something that could possibly affect our ecosystem, our water supply, all that good stuff. This was just a bad call, I think, on the side of the grant maker, which in this case is the Wyoming Business Council. I think they could have kind of stopped this from the beginning if they had known that, hey, this is a hot topic, this is a hot button, there may be issues about water. So, I mean, some of the blame goes on the Wyoming Business Council. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It seems like they should have their stuff a little bit more together than they do.
Yeah. Let me see if I can bring your microphone up a little bit.
Is that better?
I don't know. All right, let's just go ahead and motor through here. Just kind of try to speak up over there so I can make sure that I can hear. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my side. Anyways, motoring on. So in 2022, they said, well, why not? Let's just go for this ourselves. Let's forget about our neighbors. My question is, who was on council during 2022? And it was Jordan Dresser. He was the chairman. Lee Spoonhunter, Keenan Grossbeck, who is the current chairman right now. Teresa Hischase, Lloyd Goggles, who signed the MOU for this debacle, and our usual suspect here, Kim Harjo. Her name keeps coming up. Keenan Grossbeck keeps coming up. Lloyd Goggles keeps coming up. Lee Spoonhunter, Jordan Dresser, they all keep coming up in these debacles.
Yeah.
I hope people are starting to see a trend with the different things that are happening around us. Okay, so they started this mess. On top of that, the people were never consulted about this. Wouldn't you think that something of this magnitude... Now, we're talking about the Business Council. The Business Council is only supposed to be taking care of day-to-day business, not going out on their own, just doing whatever they think. Oh, I think this is a good idea. Yeah, Kim, I do too.
Yeah, they work for us.
Right. This was never brought before. And that's for the record, too. There are some people out there thinking, oh, well, this is all the Arapaho people. That we were left in the dark. We didn't know anything about this data center until it was brought up before the Select Tribal Relations Committee, the legislators. That's when I found out about it. And then as soon as I found out about it, I started ringing the bell. Okay, I have noted here that Mr. Keenan Grossbeck has denied over and over again, up to this point, he has denied over and over again that he had no knowledge of a data center. So that makes him a liar.
Wow. It does make him a liar, yeah.
And it brings me no joy. It brings me no satisfaction. I'm just disappointed that our business council chairperson is a liar.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So the meeting went on. After that, a little bit of a history lesson from Groesbeck that this is how it all started back in 2022. They decided to go off on their own and follow their own agenda without the people, without their neighbors' consent, not talking to anybody. And there's Jordan Dresser, our fearless leader. I digress. Northern Repo Tribal Industries, we got a little bit of a history lesson about them as well, often referred to as Natty. And Wind River Internet is actually a doing business as. So it's one and the same. When you say Wind River Internet, it's Natty. It's Northern Arapaho Tribal Industries. And they gave a little bit of a history lesson. It started off as a nonprofit, then became a for-profit. They graduated from the 8A, which is a government contractor program. They formed to stimulate economic development. That was the goal behind the Northern Arapaho Tribal Industries. They've been around for 23 years, folks.
Wow.
And they have a very small track record. I mean, they have a vehicle to go, and they've graduated from the 8A, which is a government contractor program. That's a Small Business Administration, and everybody helps you and you get mentored. They graduated from that, and then at that point, they could have gone after several government contracts. At this point, 23 years later, I mean, the Air Force, the Army, the Raytheon, all that stuff out there, 23 years and a very short track record of landing government contracts. Again, Wind River Internet is a doing business as Natty. All right, Patrick Lawson, he is the other co-applicant for this Wyoming Business Ready Community Grant. He is the executive manager of Wind River Internet, and he lovingly refers to himself as the Wyoming tech guy. All right, so let's get into this feasibility study. We were sitting there, we were eating our stew and our fry bread and drinking our cold tea and cold water. I mean, it would have been nice to have some coffee during this. Just note to people who are putting on these evening presentations. All right, so okay, I'm kind of at this point. All right, got this history lesson, very interesting. Taking notes of all this kind of stuff. What's up with the feasibility study? Where is this feasibility study at? So finally, some individuals got up, and basically what it is. I'm trying real hard to explain this, because it's such a dumpster fire. All right, there's an accelerator, the Native American Development Corporation, which is an apex accelerator, and I use an apex accelerator to help me get my ranch squared away in the SAM system. So if there's any kind of grant, any kind of assistance from the USDA or any other government agency, my ranch can go and apply for that grant or assistance or whatever. So I use an apex for that. They help me go into the SAM system and make sure that everything is proper and I'm good to go. And their services are free. That's important to note. So the there's a very niche apex accelerator that's specifically for Native Americans. And that is the Native American Development Corporation. So they have partnered with a company, and this is a public benefit corporation. And I'll get more into exactly what a public benefit corporation is. But they teamed up with North Star, which is out of Billings. Both of these two are out of Billings, the Apex and North Star. And they teamed up with an energy company called eFinery. And they started a joint venture called Recircle 8. So have I lost you yet?
It's pretty confusing, yeah.
Okay, so basically it's this Recircle 8 who did this feasibility study for a data center. And I said that the Apex services are free. eFinery, I asked the guy, the CEO of that organization, I said, how much did you get paid to do this feasibility study? He said, we don't get paid until there's a project. So my question is, where did the money go for this feasibility study? Okay, let's try to continue on here. A public benefit corporation, which is this North Star, who did the feasibility study for their tribe. So a public benefit corporation is an entity that balances profit making with a formal commitment. Like their mission statement is all about creating a positive impact on society, workers, the community, and the environment. That's their primary mission. If you're going to say you're a public benefit corporation, this is your ethos.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy that I talked to before the meeting started was this Lane Simpson. And he came over and he was, kind of jovial and friendly and stuff. And, hey, go get some fry bread. And I was like, okay. Talia here with this North Star, she was the main presenter of like the PowerPoint presentation and stuff like that. So here, I kind of wanted to look at their LinkedIn, because that's like one of my nosy things I do. Okay, here, first, before I get to that, here's the Native American Development Corporation, Apex Accelerator. You can go and check out their website because they are involved in this. They're part of the mix. And the reason I know that is she left her business card there, or they had her business card out on the table of things that they were handing out. Okay, so let's see here. Here is the Recircle, and this is their website, and this is interesting to note. I think that it says up here, recircle8.com is coming soon. So their website is not even fully functional. It just kind of has a landing page here, like coming soon. That's how new this organization is, folks.
Wow.
Okay. Let's see. What else did I want? Okay. Lane Simpson. Here's this guy, and according to the meeting last night, it was his company, this North Star, that did the feasibility study for us. And so I'm looking at this, and he's out of Billings. Okay, got it. And it says here that he works for the Native American Development Corporation. It doesn't say anything about North Star. Which I thought was interesting. We hop on over to look at Talia's, and she has on here that I'm a community development coordinator for North Star Public Benefit Corporation. Now, take a note, please note here, folks, that she's worked with them since March 2026 to present, 3 months. What is going on here?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not even on the CEO's LinkedIn that he's the CEO of this corporation. Talia says that she's been here for 3 months. So we're not talking about a legacy corporation, Fortune 500, publicly traded type of this is some half-baked junk.
Yeah.
Somebody had a good idea fairy moment, I think. Oh my gosh. Okay. So these are the folks that did our feasibility study. And their main thing was talking about circle economics, buffalo economics, where we use all of it. I guess all of our resources or something, like nothing goes to waste type of thinking. All right, so the bottom line here, and did I cover the energy guy? The energy guy was very interesting. Okay, let me back up just so this e-finery guy, and notice this quote here. He doesn't care if we want a data center or not. And he looked at me because we were talking before the meeting started. He said, "I'm just an energy guy." He's there like, if you want a data center, great. If you don't want a data center, great. I don't care. I don't care if you want a data center or not, because I'm just an energy guy. Like, okay, yes, got you. All right. Let's take a look at his company just for a quick. Let's look at the energy guy just for a second. We go over here to About Us. And it's this Michael Gruen, who's the founder and chief innovator. He came over and talked to me, and he was the one that noted that I don't care if you want a data center or not. I'm just the energy guy. So he holds more than 70 issued patents. He looks like a smart person. But this is his website here. And what I thought was interesting is they like to do these microgrids. And I think that's what they were really trying to push yesterday. And I think that's what they're going to continue to try to push, is a microgrid. Producing our own power, that sort of thing. All right, so moving on. I got to get through this. I'm kind of starting to not feel good. All right. All right. So the bottom line, they want us to harness our renewable energy, which is our wind, solar, land, water, to create this circular economy, meaning we own our own power, keeping our own money in the community, which in turn should spark entrepreneurship, i.e., manufacturing, 3D printing, greenhouses for food. I mean, this guy the Lane guy, the North Star guy, was really, 3D printing. You can 3D print a house. I mean, seriously. My question at this point was, what does this have to do with a data center feasibility study?
Yeah.
And they want to create an energy campus, and the anchor tenant could be a small data center. So that's how they tried to tie in the data center to all of this fluff.
Yeah.
It was an odd odd meeting. All right. So they also presented some examples of how indigenous native nations are harnessing their renewable energies to be sovereign and self-sufficient. And so they use the Moapa Band outside of Las Vegas. They had the first utility scale solar plant on U.S. tribal lands. They used the example of the Spokane tribal hatchery. They are taking control of their fisheries and supporting themselves in their community and keeping the money within their community, which is awesome. Blue Lake Rancheria in California, they are pioneering microgrid technology. So these are all fantastic, amazing success stories. So the question was brought up, how many of those projects have been done by these presenters? And none of them have.
Wow.
None of the presenters participating had anything to do with these success stories. It was just kind of like, okay, well, a man landed on the moon. Wouldn't that be great? I think we can, it had no they had no substance. That was a red flag to me.
Yeah.
They're all newly formed entities. This Circle 8 or whatever doesn't even have a full-blown website. They have a landing page. The main presenter says that she's been working for this North Star for 3 months.
Wow.
Okay. I'm getting off into a tangent. Let me stop. Finish up here. My take. How long have we been doing? Oh, okay. Yeah. We're going to need to wrap it up here. I didn't want to go over 30. All right. My take. This was not a feasibility study. This was not a technical feasibility study for a data center. This was not an economic feasibility study for a data center. This was not an operational feasibility study for a data center. Okay, where is the analysis of the technical, economical, legal, and operational factors? There was none of that. And if I was the Wyoming Business Council, and the tribal membership should demand their grant money back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened to the slide here. Anyways, the Northern Arapaho Business Council is so incompetent, they are dangerous. And I don't say that lightly. Anything with having to do with natural resources has to include the General Council, the people, and the Shoshone General Council. It all needs to be acknowledged and approved by the people across the board. We almost had in the military, you've heard of like international incident. We almost had that type of situation here on the reservation because our neighbors, the Shoshone tribe, thought that we were up to no good.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going on with the data center. What are you guys doing? These are our natural resources. If you guys have discussions about that, why didn't you come and talk to us? And then the Arapahoes are there like, exactly. I mean, and then we're looking at our business council like, what have you guys done? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
They are so incompetent. They're dangerous. All right. Wind River Energy Commission. We already have a joint energy commission on payroll. And that is the Wind River Energy Commission. What are they doing? I mean, and yes, renewable energy is in their purview. So they need to do their jobs, and we as tribal members need to demand change. My take. Yeah. So this is the only picture I could find of Harriet, and this is Art Lawson, brother of Patrick Lawson. This is not AI. You can go to Harriet's website and look this picture up. Somebody thought this was AI.
That's funny.
Those crazy Lawson boys. I'll tell you what. And Art, this is our Shoshone and Arapaho Fish and Game lead warden. Okay. And he's brothers with Patrick Lawson, the Wyoming tech guy. The person, one of the main players that started this whole mess in the first place. All right, this is not over. Harriet Hageman here has earmarked $3.8 million for wastewater treatment. And by the way, it's in the same location as the proposed energy campus. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
She also recently pushed through the 99-year lease agreements for tribal lands for economic development. She pushed that through the legislation up there in D.C. as well. So why? She does not do things without an end game in mind. So if you think that this data center situation is just going to wilt away and go away, it's not. I guarantee it. There's major money moves being made out there. All right, so energy crisis. Yes, I do agree that there is going to be an energy crisis. It just stands to reason. Cheyenne alone here in the Cowboy State Daily notes that with up to 70 Cheyenne area data centers in the works. So we have to unplug from the grid in order to survive. I believe that. And if renewable energy is a way to do that, that's what we need to do. And the other municipalities around us should also join us in getting away from being connected to Cheyenne in any way, shape, or form. They're going to have rolling brownouts. They're going to have issues with that amount of hyperscale data centers going on. And I don't want to be a part of it. So, my last thoughts on this, and it's a lot, and it was crazy and it's confusing, and I don't think we're getting the whole story.
Yeah.
it's frustrating that there's no transparency, there's no communication, and when we do get an informational meeting, it's some half-baked junk.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. At the very least, we need to call for a data center moratorium. The last day for General Counsel agenda items is tomorrow. We need a brave soul to get on the GC agenda, a moratorium. Let's hit pause. Let's not allow our incompetent business counsel, who doesn't consort with the people, move this project ahead any further. And the reason I say that is they had a timeline at the beginning of the meeting, and this is considered stage 2, which is community engagement. The next stage is 3, and that's pre-development, which is going to take 6 to 12 months. And that's when the technical design, the site control, permitting strategy, and capital structuring takes place. Partnerships are formalized. This was according to the meeting. After stage 3, then they're going to move into stage 4, development, which means construction begins. We don't want that. We don't need that. And I don't know about this group that is meeting now as we speak tonight, but the group that I was with at the casino, our final words to these presenters and to the Northern Arapahoe Business Council, we told the presenters on no uncertain terms, pack your bags and go home. That's what we told them last night.
Wow.
Pack your bags and go home. Hey, that was my take. A little frosty. I got a little spicy too, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, folks. Until next time, stay safe out there. All my relations.